What's the word? It's your boy Bobby Bangers, the professional. Big shouts to Live Free or Die Radio. You know what time it is. One.
You rocking out with LFOD.
LFOD Radio, Live Free or Die.
LFOD Radio.
LFOD Radio.
Live Free or Die.
LFOD Radio, boy.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. First and foremost. You are tuned in to Live Free or Die Radio. I am your host, Uncle Sam. Today is April 2nd, 2019. This is episode 136. We have Bobby Bangers in the building tonight. He is a DJ. He is a producer, a Boston hip-hop representer. Some might call him a fashion icon. He is here to talk about a number of things. Before we get into that, though, if you haven't heard the previous episodes, those are up now on LFODradio.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, iHeartRadio, anywhere you could possibly get a podcast. Just search LFOD Radio. You can catch that. Red Shades, DJ Myth, Trevor Holmes, E. Jake, etc., etc. If you subscribe tonight, you'll get this one as soon as it drops tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to be sharing it across all our social media when it's ready. That's LFOD Radio on everything with an underscore on Twitter. Let us know if you're tuned in tonight. Hashtag LFOD Radio. We do still have a pair of tickets to Toby Nwigwe on Friday night at the Paradise. So if you're tuned in and you want those tickets, let us know at LFOD Radio, once again, with the little underscore on Twitter. We come up way before you get to that, though. Let us know you're tuned in and you're looking for tickets. Artist submissions at LFODradio.com. And we got a shout out to 2 new patrons today who hopped on board. We're up to 6 now. Shout out to Mr. Bobby Kelly and Eric Becker. If you're not familiar with all that, you can check out patreon.com/LFODlife and learn more. We're building slowly but steadily, and I'm very excited about it. Shout out to them. And if you got questions about that, let us know as well. And we got some show information. I was wicked late, and I did not talk about the Finessement show last week after I went to it last weekend. It was dope. Shout out Replay. Shout out Cake Swag went crazy. Shout out anyone. Shout out everyone who was involved in that whole thing. Fast Coop had some records I like too. Shout all of Boston was in the building. I feel like everyone had a ticket. And Replay was on his Rockstar vibe. They don't make too many like that. So shout out to them. That was definitely an experience, definitely for the city. And it was dope to see Roxbury all out like that. We also have a bunch of upcoming shows besides this Toby show on Friday. We're about to start dropping flyers with all the upcoming shows we know about. So if you have one, you can let us know at LFOD Life. But let me give you the rundown before it drops. I mean, tonight, right now, Earl's Sweatshirt is taking place at Paradise Rock Club. Tomorrow, DMX is in town at House of Blues. Good Music Showcases at Maggie's on the 4th. Toby on the 5th. Rap Night Manchester, of course, Sunday night at the Shaskeen Pub. Lil Baby on the 10th at House of Blues. Somo at Paradise Rock Club the next night. A Boogie with the Hoodie on the 11th. Gamma Singularity's got an EP release at Uncharted on the 11th. Spring Breaks at Uncharted on the 12th. Poetry Slam fundraiser at Shop Sin on the 13th. Factory Boston's presenting the Underground Collection on the 13th. Nicky Jam at Aganis Arena on the 13th. Rap Night Manchester's back on the 14th every Sunday. And on the 15th, twice in 2 weeks, Lil Baby's back at the House of Blues. That being said, we got a show to do tonight. I am joined by Amanda Shea.
Yo, yo.
And Mr. Bobby Bangers.
What's the word?
What's happening with you, Bobby?
Easy, man. How you doing, Sam? Thanks for having me up here.
Yeah. Everyone's talking low tonight.
Yeah.
That's the wave.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
That's the wave, man.
Okay. I'm on it because I had the flu all weekend, so this is my first day I've really been in motion. So, But you're just the cool. So I'm cool without knowing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Nipsey Hussle situation, I feel like got everybody in their feelings. At least me. I've been feeling really like emotional in the last couple days. It's crazy. So that's why I'm talking calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty emotional vibes and offerings last night. So that coming, we think, to an end, and, you know, it being, you know, just the whole Nipsey, everybody was feeling it. Rayal, you know, Jay Tronius, they were amazing features, but they gave some really, really cool speeches prior to their performances.
Yeah, Nipsey hurt. I still don't really have good words for it. The most I can come up with is when you listen to his music, even though you knew he was from that life and he was active in that life and still around that life and represented that life and was not in places that were safe, something about his music just felt invincible. Like, I never thought that could happen to him. I never thought at all even though he knew it could come back, I never felt like it could. So there's some artists who talk about death in a way, and some of the recent artists you kind of were prepared for a little bit, but it shook me, to put it. I haven't even really, those 3 songs were the most I've listened to his music, because every time I press play, he drops a bar that's like talking about it. Like, even in those songs, he had a couple about it's gonna come back, like, you know.
Right.
And he has a lot of bars about it, so I keep getting stuck. But
Yeah.
that hurt.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. I mean, it's a very different thing when you have someone from the life that's actually making music about, you know, being self-made and getting away from the life, you know. And to add to it, he is a brother, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he comes from it, you know what I mean? A lot of us are in it in different ways, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, us losing Nipsey, you know, we lost like a real king, you know what I'm saying, in ways like a god to us, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's definitely a very tough thing to process. It's a tough thing to digest, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, just like, you know, the main theme in his music, it's like, we got to keep pushing, you know what I mean?
Well, he just had, you know, Racks in the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
That third verse.
Right.
About Fats. He's literally like, if it was me, I'd say, keep pushing, finish everything we planned, get it done.
Right. Yeah. You know, that's it. You know what I mean? That's all it's about. You know what I mean? It is really a race. You know what I'm saying? Like the marathon victory lap. You know what I mean? It's a race. You know what I mean? We got to pay attention. We got to pay attention to the people, you know, where we're going and the people that we have around us too. You know what I'm saying? Even we got to pay attention to the things that we're digesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me, you know I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I try to stay, you know, it's a real, you know, it deals with discipline and, you know what I mean, philosophy and all these crazy things. But, you know, you change your diet, you're going to change where you go. You're going to change how you feel, you're going to change where you go. You know what I'm saying? And once you change that, I feel like that's the first step. You know what I'm saying? Not your appearance, not your hair, not your clothes, not the colors you're wearing. You know what I mean? But change what you're putting inside your body. That's number one.
What sparked that change for you?
I mean, I live in the hood.
And you're just like, no more meat.
And to be honest, like, when there's all this stuff around us and it's like, yo, why is it that I can go out here and get this for this price? I can go to the store and get like a beef patty for $1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can't be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say any, you know what I'm saying? You get at fast food restaurants, they're giving you things like, you know, there's a like a meme that goes around where it's talking about, you know, we wonder why our diets are so bad. Inside, you have low income communities, you know what I mean? And, you know, to find fruit, you know what I mean? If you want something quick, you want some fruit or something healthy, you know what I'm saying? Costs like $5, $6, $7, $8, you know what I'm saying? You want a candy bar or you want something that's loaded with sugar, it's like 50 cents. It's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, why they're making things that are like good for us not accessible, and the things that are poisoning us very accessible. You know what I mean? So that's why I chose to change my diet. Number one, I live in the thick of it.
Yeah.
It's been 1.5 years for me, no meat.
That's congratulations. That's
Thank you.
great.
I want to get to 5 years. So I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
I was just saying in the car, I'm like, I might go back, but I'm like, I know so much now and I feel so much different now. Like, how can you go back?
Yeah.
But it is hard. Like, it is really, really hard. Like, even just being out on the road, like, if you're always traveling, it's very hard to have healthy options without it being, like, the particular peanuts from a gas station.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like, I totally agree with, like, once you shift, like, what you put in your body, it does shape your mind. Like, you start to feel more energetic. You start to think more clearly. You're able to process a lot faster. And
Right.
Plants keep you light.
Right.
Yeah,
and for sure. And they give you complete nourishment and everything. So once you do that, your mind, like you said, you're going to start shifting. You're going to start going places because your mind is going to think at a faster speed, and you're going to be more clear on the path to take to get there, because you're not feeling so like stagnant because your body doesn't feel good.
Right. So true. It's very true. And you're literally, you know, like your mind's going different places, and you're literally taking your physical body, you know what I mean? You are present in different spaces, you know what I mean? One of my favorite spots, it's, you know, is in Central Square. You can catch me there. It's 24 hours. You catch me at Clover often. After
Okay.
If you go to Clover like often and you don't see me there, then, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Where were you after replay? It was a party.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, I was there with Dutch and Keith.
I was on the corner with Dutch.
Oh yeah?
Oh, you must. She said she was there. I saw her again, and she said she was there for like a few hours longer. So
yeah.
you might have been. Oh, where?
Yeah, I was out there. Where was I DJing?
Were you at that show?
No, I was DJing somewhere else that night, and I was like, you know, I knew the show was happening. Yeah, but I was like, yo,
you got work to do.
Yeah, let me go grab some. You know what I'm saying? Let me go grab something to eat. And I was like, oh snap, the show's here too. And then, you know, I see Dutch all red. You know what I mean? All
that
red.
Corner was active that night for a while. Like, I felt I left early, and people were just going to be there.
Yeah,
mixing up.
Yeah, it was definitely active. Active
for sure.
I wish I could have went. Shout out to Jeff Replay.
Yeah, big shout out. So it's funny. I wanted to talk. Well, never mind. If you hang on, Amanda, to your diet for a little bit longer, you're going to be okay. It's so close to being like mainstreamed on that level. The Impossible Meat is breaking down all sorts of barriers.
Really?
Like, it's really close. Another year, maybe 2. You're going to be shocked at the amount of options.
I'm trying to stick it out completely, but it's hard when you're in a car with someone and they offer you a turkey sandwich.
See,
and you're like, wait, but I don't eat this. Like, what are we doing here?
That's why I'm not making the switch until it's a little easier. But but it's hard to eat healthy. Like, no matter, that's spot on. But Bobby, so I want to hear you scratch, but we got to talk about. So you had a gig that night. You're involved. You're always working. You're involved in a lot of different things. Like, what do you have going on right now? We know about the stew. We know about you've got a number of residencies.
Yeah.
Do you want to just list them out?
Drop it.
I mean, I do have a number of residencies. You know, shouts out to Bostonia. Shouts to Liberty Hotel. Where else? You know, Cary Nation. Where else am I at these days? Brass Union. That is Brass Union is actually where I host my event. I have a monthly event that happens every second Friday at Brass Union. Very, very, very diverse. You know, we do all sorts of things there. You know, we take it, you know, we deal with the current things and the current music that everyone's, you know, that the newer generation would be more familiar with. And then, you know, we also take it back. The event's called Boom and System. Mm-hmm. And what's actually happening is that event, it actually stemmed from a mix that I was working on. My first project is going to be called Booming System. So, you know, I'm like, oh, I got to figure out a way to kind of like gain some traction behind this. And I've been DJing long enough to actually start piloting my own events. You know what I mean? Brass Union, they were very receptive to the idea. And, you know, there's a lot of love flowing over there. So, you know, decided to start the event. And, you know, Booming System is really kind of, you know, going to be like my brand and my flagship product. You know, I mean, there'll be others, but Booming System is, you know, basically the mixture of, you know, the DJing and the production and the fashion and all that stuff. It's all gonna, you know, come together right
You're
there.
sneaking some Bobby Bangers originals in those mixes there?
Oh yeah, like I've made enough. Like I've made, you know, I'm going to play a track today that I made last night. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, like, you know what I mean?
We need the exclusive horns.
Yeah. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not, I'm still working on it, but, you know what I mean? I'll bless you guys with it. Because y'all are fam, you know what I'm saying?
We appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate the fam shout outs on the posts you made as well.
Yeah, of course, man. You guys have been very supportive, you know, since we've met. I can't remember a time that, you know what I mean, there was not like high levels of support from everyone in this room, you know.
Facts.
So yeah, I really respect, you know, all of what you guys do. Amanda, you are grinding crazy. Like you're such a talented person.
Thank you.
Like, and that's, you know, and that's from the heart. You know what I mean? I remember being at market and seeing you, you know, speak your truth to like a room full of people, and I was really, really blown away.
Thank
you know what I'm saying?
you.
I believe the first time I saw something like that was at Speakeasy at Hard Rock with Reggie Reg. Shouts to Roaming too.
Yeah, Roaming Entertainment.
Yeah, Reggie Reg and Moon. Those are my guys. But, you know, you just like had the room in suspense. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And not many people can do that.
You got me like blushing on air,
and,
Bobby.
You know, and back to the theme of it, Sam, you know what I'm saying, when you first met, he's like, yo, I need you on a record. And I'm like, oh, let's do it. You know what I mean? And I don't do records with everyone. That's why my catalog's really slim.
I appreciate that. I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm a very, very extremely particular individual. You know what I'm saying? I do not do records with everyone. So even back then when I was still trying to push my brand and get my name out there, it's like, yo, I know everyone, but I'm not doing a record with everyone.
Oh,
so, you know,
thank you, sir.
Much love to you.
Damn, he knows what to say.
Right?
I was about to come on, but we gotta talk about you. He's like, let me tell you something.
Right.
That'll just...
I love Bobby. Like, what you see is what you get. And it's always been real. Like, from day one, since the moment that we met. So I appreciate you. And I see how much you really love and support your community. For real, for real. Like, there's not a flyer that I don't, like, you're everywhere. And when DJs ask me, like, you know, what should I do? Because I don't know that side of it, you know? I don't know that grind, but I know it is a grind. And I'm like, yo, look at Bobby. You know, like, always look at what he's doing. Look at Real P, who I also know, like, you all are really, really close as well.
Yeah, shouts
like,
to P.
Both of you are, like, out here. And I'm just like, it is refreshing and amazing to see how you all are lifting up yourselves and your peers and the people that serve your community, and all of these artists who feel like they don't have support from the DJs.
Right.
You know, y'all are really bringing that back into the city, like breathing that for real.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect that because that pushes the culture forward.
I appreciate
it starts
that.
with y'all.
Excuse me, I really appreciate that, Amanda.
No, you're
honestly.
welcome.
Yeah, we try. It's a, you know, it's a grind. It's definitely, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely a struggle at times. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of times, you know, artists know. You guys get it because you guys are both artists. You know what I mean? It could be, you know, 2 months in a dark room. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what your sound is going to be. Or it could be 2 months, you know what I mean? Like, just... You know, it's not glamorous. The path to success, the road to success is not glamorous. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys know. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna say, let's give some of this love back to you, because there aren't a lot of platforms for DJs to, like, get off on, get
Right.
get their stuff out there. So we're providing that with these LFOD mix series that we
Cool.
started. We're gonna chop it up with you more after on the portable recorder, because I want to make sure your whole mix gets on the FM waves, gets blasted out. I want to get into it. I don't want to be cutting you short. I don't want to be rushing you.
Cool.
I'm glad that the part we record already is just about how much everyone loves each other, which is great.
Yeah, we need that.
Because it's been all love, and you've been one of those dudes from the start that's like, yo, Sam, just hit me up. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. Like,
Wow.
let's do something.
Facts.
And we're all busy and moving around, but I've always been like, yo, Bobby's on it. And I've caught gems. When we talked at Boston Music Awards, and I was telling you that what you had told me, and you're like, I said that to you? And I was like, yeah, you told me like 5 years ago, and I ran with that.
Damn,
Like,
that's wild.
they just tumble. So
That's wild.
we appreciate it. I'm sure you're going to drop some over there when we talk after.
Yeah, we'll see what I got.
But we're gonna play this Amber Mark remix you
Cool.
did, or the edit.
Cool.
What's the difference between an edit and a remix?
So edit is basically like a DJ version of a song. So basically, with this track, it was, I felt like it was, it's a really dope song, but in order for it to translate to certain audiences, like there are some sonic elements that really needed to change. You know what I mean? Not too much. You know what I mean? So what I did here was I just, added, NOLA, New Orleans, the breaks. You hear like The Weeknd and everybody's City Girls, like Cardi, everybody's like, what I'm saying, with the whole NOLA sound. You know what I mean? So I just took, like a little break, chopped it up. And I think that's all I did to this, and kind of like pitched a couple things up and down, and that was that.
So it's just sprinkling some flavor crystals, a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's just giving it some sauce, just a bit.
A little seasoning.
Puttanesca.
Yeah, exactly. Shouts to Chronic Tone.
Shout out Dutch too.
Yeah,
I think she used that line as well.
Nice.
Like, I'm dripping Puttanesca.
Yeah, I don't even know about that stuff.
Dutch.
All right.
All right, yo, we're gonna play this "Love Me Right" DJ Bobby Bangers edit, Amber Mark. When we're back, he's gonna be blessing us with a mix.
Yeah, we'll play some stuff.
Yeah,
Dope.
some stuff. All right, Bobby Bangers, LFOD Radio. We'll be back after this. We are back, Live Free or Die Radio. Bobby Bangers about to hit us with a little something he cooked up last night, maybe partially on air right now. Either way, we are excited. We're going to get into this right now. Give me something, make sure I got you.
Make this personal.
All right, we got you. It's about to be coming over with monitors in a second. Bobby Bangers, LFOD mix, Live Free or Die Radio. Bobby, that was crazy.
Was it? You liked it?
You know what? I said Bobby was crazy on autopilot, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't crazy. I wouldn't say crazy. I'm not gonna be out here throwing crazy around for the fuck of it. I didn't expect as many originals.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to hear the Bobby Bangers beats.
I dropped a lot of those in there.
So
There was also what do you call it? I can't. I'm like, damn, I can't hear shit.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm about to drop. Like, it's a different thing when you can, when you can. That was a very alternate situation. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, that was different because that's like, in one way, it's interesting that happened because I didn't know. So you DJ without your hearing at 100%.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because I block, like I have an in-ear monitor. You know what I'm saying? So I block a lot of it out.
So you block it?
Yeah, so naturally, because you know what I mean, like like when you go to a show and you wear earplugs, I'm basically wearing earplugs, but it's just playing the sound inside my ear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like when I have that on, like I can only hear it's like it creates like an odd, unless there's music playing to balance, it like throws my equilibrium off.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm just hearing just like the music inside my ear, like I can't like do what I need to do, that's when I would need headphones.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the monitor actually like stabilizes the sound.
Why do you like that setup better?
Because it's less bulky, it's easier, and I can mix finer. You know what I mean? I can mix tighter with that, as opposed to having, you know what I'm saying, headphones, throw them on, take them off, throw them on, take them off, and that's like kind of frustrating. You know what I mean?
So 9 times out of 10, it's the best setup.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get used to. It takes a while to get used to like hearing, you know what I'm saying, like to get accustomed to the sound, basically like being inside your ear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's very different than mixing with headphones. Like mixing with earphones with monitors is like way different. You know, you should, from performing. You ever perform with an in-ear monitor?
I've jammed headphones deep into my ears, but I've never done like the official. Like yours is probably custom fitted and all that, right?
It's just some short 415s or 425s.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All right, what are we doing?
So on the one hand, it's more precise.
Yeah.
But on the other, if you don't have the balance, you're just like kind of lost.
Well, yeah. So we didn't have the balance from the speakers. You know what I mean? So I could barely hear what I was doing. You know what I mean? So like when there's like adequate sound, yeah, I'm good. But if it's like a low volume situation, that's when I would need like, you know what I mean? That's when I would need headphones. You know what I mean? And like if I'm already into it, I'm not gonna go like grab my headphones and like put that together. It was like, all right, we're already here. Just we're on stage, just go.
Okay.
You know
You are the professional.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's not a long set, you know? And I got joints that you've never heard before, you know what I mean? So I'm sure we're Gucci.
Yeah, what would you say about that set? Because you were talking to us while you were playing it,
Mm-hmm.
so we know, but for people that couldn't hear you, what'd you run down, what'd you run through?
I ran through, so I think the second joint that I played was a joint that I told you guys that I made last night, and then I played some of DJ On and On's production. He just passed away in November. I played some of his production. The second to last track that I played is called Ominous. That was like, you know what I mean, something that him and I worked on. Then I played Star Wars from Golden Brown Sound. Of course, you know what I mean, in dedication to Nipsey, I played the Tommy Guns. The Tommy Guns was what I was flipping, the instrumental, and then on the back side of it, I played the Feeling Myself. You know what I mean, that's how we went out. And then I played, you know, two different versions of Lonnie Liston, like Smith remix, and like a Barry. It's not a remix, they're beats that I made, but the samples are different. You know what I'm saying? So we did the Barry White, and then the Lonnie Liston Smith, and then what else did I play? Shit, I can't remember after that.
Word. Yeah, that was different because that was the longest probably we've had a song run from a DJ. There's been a lot of cuts and juggles, so it was cool to get a different pace. You know?
Yeah. And I'd say, and I didn't want to bring that, you know what I'm saying? I really didn't want to bring that, like, really, like, this is why I only gave you some of it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to bring that, like, consistent, like, crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not really what I'm going for right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm known for, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm too much going for.
You did have that one section where you went a little bonkers. I don't know, did you have the beat repeating, or were the 30-second notes built into the beat that you were juggling?
No, that was me making those.
So you were making those.
I made those.
It sounded like each turntable had 30-second notes going and you were splicing.
Nah.
So break that down, because you heard that. Something was going on.
Yeah, nah, that's basically... Is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that. So basically...
this is just for me, but... You know,
yeah,
people might
so
get a kick out of it,
I'm giving away like battle tactics, you know what I'm saying? So basically, yeah, I'll tell you what I did, you know what I mean? Cause whatever.
Whatever you can hint at, just so like enough so we can be like, holy shit, now that I kind of know how he did it, it's even crazy.
Yeah, so I took the song and I raised it. I raised the speed of the song by about 50%.
Okay.
Right. So, and then I did a technique that's called strobing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, strobe is,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's you start on one turntable, and then when I'm moving my hands, that's me catching the 30-second notes.
I saw you catching them, but I didn't know where they were coming from.
Yeah, they're coming from the track.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'll let you hear it.
So the original track doesn't have those in it, though. You added them live, and then...
No, the original track has it.
That's what I was asking, and you were like, no, I did that.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't edit the track. I juggled it. That's a beat juggle.
Okay, okay.
So that was... so that was this. That was a Saigon joint. That's it. That's it.
I saw your hands.
No, but you had... One of them was like... Had the rapid fire.
So then it goes like this. So then we switch it. I change it a bit. And I'll bring it here.
Okay.
Right? So now, so when it goes to that tempo,
Yeah.
there's more for me to play with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when I could really move quickly. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And you get to hear like all the hits in between.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, that's that.
So that's that.
I'm gonna research, and hopefully that was the section of the song I was asking about. But that was it's funny hearing you explain it, because it sounded like way more was going on.
Yeah,
I
I mean that's the thing. That's actually what that's actually like, I'm a battle DJ at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So I'm known for like, battle techniques and very precise battle techniques, you know what I'm saying? So that is just a very like foundation of fundamental technique, like executed at an extreme speed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So it's like just imagine when you see somebody like baby scratching and they just go faster and faster and faster. You know what I mean? So I'm just doing like a simple pattern, but it's really quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my question for you, is like, how did you get into so many rooms? I mean, you kind of explained that a little bit with saying like you're able to show your full strength in your full array of like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But for like somebody who's up and coming, like
Mm-hmm.
a producer / DJ, or just a DJ who just wants to get in the scene in the city, like what would they do? Like what would be the first thing to do?
Yeah, so paying your dues is very different now. You know what I'm saying? Like with everything being digital, and you know what I mean, you can basically just like pick up anyone in this room can like begin a DJ career like right now. You can take steps literally right now. Although we're in a room full of records, you know what I'm saying, if this was not a room full of records, anyone in here can take steps to become a DJ like right now. You know what I'm saying? You can download some songs, and you know what I mean, you can put them on your phone, you can have a DJ app, and you can go out and try, you know what I'm saying? But how I got in those rooms, I was very passionate about what I did. I was very authentic, you know what I'm saying? Like I did my knowledge, I did my research, and you know, I didn't step down. I didn't shy away from challenges. A lot of challenges, still a lot of challenges today, you know what I mean? I didn't shy away from them, you know what I mean? The best thing that I could say to anyone that's like trying to start is like, just take time with yourself, take time with what's going on, and just really, you know what I'm saying, do what you're doing. Like try to do what you're doing from like a real place, you know what I'm saying? Be organic with it, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out here like, you know what I'm saying, like trying to, you know what I mean, be in the club, doing like popping bottles all like crazy, and you know what I'm saying, just like being a trend whore, you know what I'm saying, like that's weak, you know what I mean? Like we get it, you know what I mean? I still play a lot of very trendy music, you know what I'm saying, but don't base your whole career off that, you know what I mean? There's so much more, and there's so much more to understand. So I'll just say take your time, do your research, and be patient with yourself, and be patient with the art, you know what I mean, and it's gonna come.
It's interesting you said that. So paying dues are different, but are sort of like the unwritten rules still there? Like if someone who's opening comes and plays like
the hot record early in the night, are they still blocking themselves off?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely like, cannibalizing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you can do it, you know what I'm saying, but like the people who you're working with are probably not going to want you to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're probably just going to be like, yo, this dude or this female, like they're all for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a community. It's really a community. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know what I mean, to be real, it's almost like gang. You know what I mean? To be honest.
Gang.
Yeah, real rap. It's almost that way, because, like a lot of it is, you knowing people, because you're dealing with a lot. You're dealing with people's livelihoods. You're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, like little Johnny's braces. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't want to send someone to a venue and, you know what I mean, they're going to go in there and like, perform well. Yes, do your thing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we don't want to send someone that's not going to take it seriously and that's going to try and like push you out, or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So, people like DJs are very particular about who they work with and who they let into their environment. You know what I'm saying? I'm really, really particular about who I let into my stuff, because what I do is not conventional. You know what I mean? It's like you may see me somewhere, you know what I'm saying, downtown playing like a bunch of trap records, and then you may see me like somewhere else, you know what I mean, playing like a full-on house set. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. You know what I mean? I'm playing like Loud Luxury and Rehab, you know what I'm saying, and Electric City, you know what I'm saying, and on the flip side, we're bumping Travis Scott and ASAP and XXX, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different ways to take it, you know what I mean? So, it is very nuanced, and like, you know what I mean, you just really gotta like know your rooms, get your network up, know your rooms, go out, you know what I'm saying, be an actual person. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to want to work with someone who's just like, hitting you up from the computer. You know what I mean? Like, hey, can I open for you? Or, hey, can you do this? Or, hey, can you know what I'm saying? And understand it's an investment. It's an investment for all of us. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn something. You want to be put somewhere. Like, it's some level of investment. You're going to have to invest something. You're going to have to invest time, or you're going to have to invest money. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn how to DJ much better. You want to learn how to, blend tighter. You want to learn how to scratch. And you don't want to, like, learn and wait and learn yourself. It's going to cost you money. Right. I can help you, but it's going to cost you.
Speaking of that, I know that you do, like, mentorship.
Yeah.
Like, with a couple of DJs in the city.
Yeah.
That's very hard information to get, by the way. I don't know if that's, like, purposeful or not, but
wait, so are we putting that out there
for
then?
Me,
or
for me, my
for the people that you take on under like your wing, your apprentices' names are very hard to obtain, is what I'm saying.
Oh, what do you mean?
Meaning, like, can you cut this?
No, spill your tea all over.
Say it.
I'm not spilling tea on record. Like, okay, so
I'll just say it like
it.
this before you even, like, you know what I mean, before you have to say anything incriminating. I've influenced a lot of people, you know what I mean, like from back when back before, like when I was like bringing turntables to the park, to the basketball joint, you know what I'm saying, before hoop hop, you know what I'm saying, I was out there, you know what I mean, with you know what I'm saying, some of my homeboys, you know what I mean, with the Allen boys in the truck outside, and Mark Maron on the grill, and Justice Cassie on the camera, and the kids in the park, and they're playing ball, and we're DJing, you know what I'm saying. So like, you know, I used to be in these meetups and like all this stuff, you know what I mean. I did a lot of stuff. I went to Battle. That was a big thing, going to Battle. And the only like DJ from Boston that basically from here, native to Boston, that still like battles, you know what I'm saying. There isn't anyone else, you know what I'm saying. And if there is anyone else, please correct me, but I'm 100% sure that there's no one else. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what you see, like, yeah, I'm not boastful, you know.
But you literally fly out to events and get in these battles.
Like, I was in my first battle I remember being in, you know what I'm saying. Well, my first like sanctioned battle, you know what I mean, was in like the DMC in 2016. But right before that, like I went out and I was in like a room full of like the illest DJs like probably in the world, and I had no intention on battling. I was just out there to just go watch a party. And I ended up battling in New York by myself, you know what I'm saying. I'm on Kid Capri's Instagram, you know what I'm saying, from years ago, you know what I mean. And in terms of like, you know what I mean, I am a very influential person because of how I deal with, because of my like approach to DJing and my approach to music, you know what I'm saying. Even just like me as a person, I'm just very different, you know what I'm saying. I didn't take the, you know what I mean, I didn't take like a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, like limelight and go crazy. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, but after this gig I'm gonna go back to my studio and I'm gonna work, you know what I'm saying, because, you know. But yeah, man, there's the levels of discipline. I believe that, you know, when I talk about patience, I feel like a lot of people don't have the patience. They just want to get out there, they want the money, they want people to see them, you know what I'm saying, they want to be visible, you know what I'm saying. But you know what I mean, I do that sometimes, you know what I mean, but I'm more concerned with other things. I'm more concerned with the, you know what I mean, like I taught myself how to produce, you know what I mean, and like people ain't really doing too much of that, you know what I'm saying. I could produce something for you right now, you know what I'm saying, but you know, it takes time. It takes time, you know what I mean.
When are we going to see you in the Stu Showcase?
Me, I probably won't enter that.
No?
Like, nah, because I don't really want to make, like, I'll showcase, like, I'll play stuff, but I don't really want to, like, battle.
Okay.
Like, not at least not with beats, because it's like, that's just like battling with art. You know what I'm saying? You know, and art's very subjective. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't really want to battle with that. You know
well,
what I'm
it's
saying?
funny, because I was with 16-Bit Spit on
That's
Thursday.
my dude. Yeah.
And he was even saying, he's like, I don't really know if I won last year. He's like, and I was like, I'm just going to say I'm glad I wasn't judging, because it all came down to the flavor that the judges wanted.
Right.
Because everybody was in their bag that night.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people going in, and it really came down to what way the judges leaned in their own preferences.
Yeah.
Because there was some... Well, you'll hear it when we drop the 16-Bit Spit.
Word, yeah.
But,
that's the homie too, man.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. I never really chopped it up with him.
Yeah, him and I are supposed to like really link up. We're supposed to drop some work. We are dropping wherever this camera is, I don't know, or this like audio is, I don't know. But 16-Bit Spit and I will be dropping material.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we're gonna drop material. Like I'm on that. He's
awesome.
on that. Yeah. You see on
maybe that's what he was hinting at, because he's like, I can't say, but I'm got some big names I'm working with.
Nah, I don't think I'm the big name, but but yeah, no, we're gonna.
Did I see what though?
Huh?
You said, did I see what?
Oh, on Instagram, and I was like, yo, let's drop a single, and he was like, oh, let's drop like 5, and I was like, oh, all right,
Yeah,
cool,
that's what's up.
bet. You know what I'm saying? I love challenges. You know what I mean? Me playing like music for you guys that like literally that I'm not even done working on yet. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time ever getting on any radio station and playing anything that I've ever made. You know what I'm saying?
Happy we could offer that.
I appreciate that.
Honored that you would do that.
Yep. I mean, hell, fam. You know what I mean? There was no other place I'd rather do it. You know what I mean? To be honest, that's a big hurdle. You know what I mean? Like, you know, changing like your whole, like entire like life, changing your entire like image, all of these things. You know what I'm saying? They're all hurdles. You know what I mean? Because like there's like other things that happen to kind of like, you know, they're catalysts. Why these things happen? You know what I'm saying? It's not really an easy thing to move through, and nightlife is not easy to navigate. Entertainment's not easy to navigate.
No.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, just being able to, you know, because at any moment you can be very vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? You have a bad set, and it's like, oh, you fell off. You have a, you know what I'm saying? You go to the store, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta remember, you're not just going to the store, you know what I mean? You are like literally, you're on, you know what I'm saying? people are looking at you.
Yeah, it gets different when you realize you could run into people anywhere.
You know.
The first couple times it happened to me, I was like, oh no, I didn't think I was seeing people. Like, I was going to do, why are you, you could be anywhere now.
Right.
No, that happened today. I was driving Lyft, and I saw 3 different people.
Crazy.
That, like, knew me, and I was stopped at a light for the last one, and it was this girl that saw me perform at this space, like, a month and a half ago, and she hit her jewel, and something caught my eye about that, probably because I be jeweling. And I looked at her, and she was like, "You're Amanda Shea, right? All day?" And I'm like, "That's me." And she was like, "I saw you perform. I'm glad I looked over." And I'm like, "Cool, like, yeah." And it's cool to be loved, like, in your city. At the same time, like, it's a little scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, when you're out and about and you're living normal life and you're, like, at the grocery store and somebody sees you and recognizes you, like, it can be a little daunting sometimes, because sometimes you're just not in the mood, or you're not in your feels. And I feel like that's the downside of being on.
Oh yeah.
Because you're not allowed to be kind of human in that.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm having a bad day and I don't greet somebody in the warmest way, or like something that they recognize, I could potentially offend that person, or come off as something that I'm not in that moment. Like, we hold on to, like, fickle moments sometimes, as opposed to, like, overall.
Yeah.
So, like, I tell people all the time, like, when I measure people, I always measure it against the most that I know about them and the most positive stuff that I know about them, as opposed to, like, a one-off interaction where it's negative. Because I don't know people's lives, and I feel like you especially, like, I've seen you in Dudley Cafe just chilling. Like, I can only imagine, like, how many people just walk in there, see you, and be like, hey, and then now you're in this long hour, we've talked, and it's like you're in this long hour conversation with people, and you're really just trying to finish something, or you may have a deadline for a grant that you're trying to push off or something, and you feel it's like that push and pull of, like, obligation, but, like, trying to be respectful, trying to be polite, but also, like, staying focused on what you're trying to do. So it's a lot of things, and I don't think everybody understands that. They just say, oh, like, oh, this is dope because you're in the limelight, and I say that with parentheses, like, limelight, or you're known, but not all the time does that come with, like, all the glitz and glamour of what people think it comes with. You're even more criticized, more looked at, because you're so visible. Your art is subjective to so many different opinions, and you don't know which way to go about that. So when you say, like, you don't want to do the Stu Beat thing because it's art battling against art, like, I totally understand that sentiment, and I feel like we're constantly, when you said like, I'm trying to transition to, like, something different, or changing my image, like, we shouldn't be scared of that, because art is transformative. At the same time, though, some of our core audience, like, on the flip side, is going to be like, what are you doing? I want to hear this. And we hear that all the time, comparative with mainstream, you know, artists who are, like, they completely change their sound because they're trying to experience. I remember Nelly is, like, I don't know why he popped in my head, but Nelly, when he started going into, like, the country music and doing duets, people were like, what is he doing? It's like, well, that's where he's from.
He's
like,
from the country. Like.
And if he wanted to transform from, like, rap into country.
No, that song was trash, though.
Okay, cool. That's once again, art is subjective to people's opinion. Either way, like, we should be able to, as humans, like, evolve and be able to experiment without being so, like, judged on, you know, the critique about it, or because we're trying to move, or, oh, they're trying to change lanes because, like, maybe it's not working out, and they fall in, like you said, the falling off comments. It's like, no, I'm a person. I want to try some stuff. I'm self-taught. Why can't I just do those things? So I could only imagine what it's like walking around being Bobby Bangers all day. You know, like, it's you know, it's a lot. Like, people can approach you at any point in time.
Now. You're just concerned.
No, I don't
His face just was like, is there supposed to be more weight?
No, it's being just approached, period.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Totally get
like,
it.
you lose kind of your sense of your autonomy, and a sense of, like, your own introvertedness when you're so out in the open.
You're
know?
Right.
People
It's
don't
so
think
true.
I have social anxiety. I totally do.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
like, people are like, oh, you don't have social anxiety. You are able to get up and host in front of 2,000 people, or perform in front of all these people. And I'm like, no. It takes me a lot to get to that level. I have to
Right.
self-talk, I have to breathe, I have to do so much to gear up to that. So when I enter a room, like I entered a room the other day with a bunch of people I didn't know, and people that I love can see my face and it looks uncomfortable, they're like, it's okay. Like, you posted at 1 million, and I'm like, that's not this though. This is different. I don't need to be on, you know, or psych myself up to be on. I'm just trying to come to a party and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
You know, so we battle like those little things that we don't make maybe so public with people while we're out here being very public in front of people.
It's very true. Nailed right on the head, seriously. Like that is like the like truest words like ever spoken. Like, you know, and it's tough, like, you know, I deal with, you know what I'm saying, like levels of, I get overwhelmed, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for a few reasons, but the main thing is that, a lot of I don't realize like how, at times, how many people actually know me. Sometimes I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to an event and you know everyone, like, just
everyone knows
everyone at the event.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, wow, this is very, like, you know what I mean? Let me duck off over here. You know what I'm saying?
Just need to use the
Like, there are times that...
No, continue.
There are times like that I literally, like, go to some events that I've been to. Like, I knew so many people, I had to leave. Like, I had to step outside, like, and like, get some, like, fresh air, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know what I mean? And it's all love, you know what I'm saying? I got so much love for everybody, you know what I mean? But, you know, it is overwhelming at times.
It can be draining.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
And remembering people's names too. Like,
That's
I
a
ran
lot.
into somebody and
Just call them their handles, their at names.
I try. Sometimes that doesn't work, but there's other times, like, I've met the same person 3 times. And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Amanda. And they're like, we've met 3 times. And I'm like, listen, like, no offense. There's so many people you're running into.
I'll give you a gem when we turn this off. Because if I tell it to you when it's live, then, like, the people I do it to are going to know.
Okay, all right.
I got you.
Cool.
The Irish goodbye.
And it's like, I feel
Irish
feel
goodbye
bad.
like crazy. I don't say goodbye to anyone.
I feel bad. I'm like, I don't know your name. Like, I just don't know. If I have somebody there with me, I'd be like, so, you guys introduce each other. Because then they both can say each other's name. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
so, guys, if Amanda's ever having you introduce yourself, she does
forgot. Just gave it away.
But they either get it or they don't. I want to clarify that me seeing people in public has nothing to do with limelight or fame or anything. It's just more knowing a bunch of people. And it's not people for me, it just feels like a small town. When I moved to Boston, I'm used to small towns. I'm from a small town.
Yeah.
So I'm used to going out and seeing people I know.
Yeah.
And then I moved here, and I was like, this city's huge. And I liked it when I started seeing people I knew, because I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm actually, like, running into real Bostonians in Boston doing, like, I'm not having to seek them out and seek out, what they say, the whole find your tribe thing or whatever. Like, I was like, all right, I'm actually doing things with people.
Yeah.
LFOD life. Hashtag.
Right.
But when you meet, you're never actually interacting with people anyway. You're only interacting with their day or whatever's going on in their life at that time.
Yeah.
Or like a reflection of what you're giving them. I feel like you rarely out in public. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And if I ask you your name 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times, like
yeah, you know, but it's really kind of like, you know, someone came up to me the other day and was like, they introduced, I was in Clover and there were 2 people, and I knew one of them. I can't remember who it was, but I knew one of them, and the other one I didn't know. And they were like, I was like, you know, they're like, hey, they introduced me as a DJ. And I was like, yeah, that's my main DJ. His name is Bobby Bangers. And he was like, yo, what's up? My name is such and such. And then he was looking at me like crazy. And I was like, oh. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, like, I'm literally thinking, I'm like, yo, what did I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you're nasty. He's like, yo, he's like, yo, I got a video on my phone. I was like,
okay.
Oh, yeah? He was like, yeah, I went to this place and I saw you do that. And he was like, yo, look. And he literally had a video of me, like, getting busy. Like, I was like doing like more like battle stuff.
Yeah.
He literally had a video of me on his phone.
That's dope.
And that's not the first time that's happened,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, you know, but like again, I can't remember the person. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the experience and the interaction, and you be as genuine as you can.
Yeah.
It's honestly rude for someone to expect you to remember that many people.
Yeah.
Like, it's all ego games.
We forget. No, in all
Whose water
fairness,
is
we
this, by the way?
But
Can I please have some of that?
But real
like,
rap, it's like
I totally understand like that sentiment though, because it's like, you know, people feel like they're a part of your movement. They feel like they're super supportive. They feel like, you know, they're a part of your journey. So, and to some respect, if they've ran into you, like my example was 3 times, and they've ran into you 3 times, and you don't remember their name, I can understand. Like, perception is like, well, damn, like they don't even remember me, and like I'm so supportive. Like, why wouldn't they? You know.
Right.
So I understand that sentiment. At the same time, it's like there's I don't know how many people in Massachusetts, and I don't just stay in the city, and just like you don't, you know. So it's like when you're traveling all these different places and you're seeing so many different faces, like sometimes there is like home shock. When you travel and then you come home, sometimes going to an event right after you get back can feel weird to you, because you're so used to being in a mind state of being away from home that when you are home you don't recognize it or feel it. And I don't think people who don't travel or people who aren't artists or in this industry understand like how that psychology is. You know, so I think interviews like this, where we're having conversations like this, is very breathtaking in a sense, and like eye-opening, because it gives people the flip side of like what that perspective is, and like giving you a little bit of understanding of like, no, it's not ego, even though that exists, and like ego is very much alive and well in most people. Like, put it in the perspective of the person. Like, if they don't remember, it's no shade to you, or they're not ego tripping. It's just they run into a lot of people. Look at all the stuff that they're doing. They're in front of people they don't know all the time. Like, that's very difficult.
Right. And then you think about it, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? You think about, like, you know, producers and consumers, you know what I mean? Like, we're producers. Like, we produce, you know what I mean? Like, we consume too, but, like, we consume a lot less. You know what I mean? All of you are the consumers, you know what I'm saying? And not to say it in, like a disrespectful way, you know what I'm saying? But we are, like, you know, we're performing, you know what I mean? You are, there's one performer, and there's however many people in the audience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it is at times like, yo, you know what I mean? It's very much, it's not equal at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So if we don't, like, you know what I mean? If we don't remember you, it's definitely not an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? We're just doing a lot. You think if you're doing, you know what I mean? If I do, even on a very small scale, if I do 2 events in 2 days, and like 300 people come to each of those events, you know what I mean? There was one common denominator there.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, out of that 600, there was one common denominator. You know what I'm saying?
Yup. So. One thing I want to say before we wrap this up is, like, I really respect you on a whole other level as well, on top of as much respect I have for you as an artist, as a person, as a humanitarian.
Yes.
What I really love is the fact that you're willing to give out information. In a time where I feel like it's very competitive and can be competitive, especially you're in the industry we're all in, an entertainment industry, it can be very competitive. However, instead of you looking at that like, I'm gonna hoard all this information to myself, you drop knowledge on so many people, even in times that you don't have the time to do that. And like, I am like huge admirer of that, because I feel like that's the way you shift culture, and that's the way you bring up your community, is by giving away that information where people don't have to go and look for it as where you had to, or go and search techniques that work, or classes that you may, or systems that you may use. Like, you're willing to be like, hey, even on your online presence, like, you're so willing to give away so many gems, and the fact that you have so many resonances is very inspirational to any DJ in the city who doesn't even know how to go about obtaining one, who didn't even understand that there could be places that they could. I mean, you're at the Liberty. Who would have thought? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's nothing to, like, just shake your head at. Yeah. And before we conclude this interview, I had to say that to you personally. I know we bump into each other from time to time, but I don't get to, like, gush over, like, how much I admire you all around as a person.
I appreciate
like, that's really dope. I feel like as a Boston native, for you, for a transplant like myself, is it transplant? That's the right term, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a transplant. I'm not from the city. I've noticed in certain scenarios where people that are from Boston are very, like, tight-knit and keep information to themselves. You are, like, the complete opposite of that. Yeah. And it's refreshing that people like you still walk around and are able to just be like, here, I'm gonna, you know, like, what do you need? Because I got you. That. You know, there's a lot of DJs, like you said, you're very, you know, you inspire and maybe influence other DJs because of how long you've been doing this. But, like, I see the up-and-coming ones that are, like, following. And shout out DJ Real P again, because, like, he's another one. He'll be here. DJ Alcide. Yeah. You know what I mean? DJ Y Sham. Yeah. Sham is, like, everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that is, like, they're looking at you, too. You know, and we have conversations, and I know that you have conversations with them one-on-one. Yeah. So, like, I appreciate that. Anything that you can do to build up your community is beautiful to me. So thank you.
I appreciate that.